Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on how to set up your mailbox in Outlook 2016. This video applies to Starter, StarterPlus, Mail Lite and Mail Extra mailboxes. So to start, the first thing we need to talk about is what happens when you actually open Outlook. So if you've set up a mailbox in Outlook 2016 before, the chances are, because it's a default setting, when you open it, you're going to get taken straight to the mailbox that you previously set up. So as we can see, this is the mailbox I've set up before. So if I wanted to add a new one, that's absolutely fine. I could add it so that it shows up under here, and every time we open Outlook, I can see both of my mailboxes. So if you wanted to add it to this one, go to Account Settings, and then you can just add the mailbox there. And I'll run through the settings in a second as well. If you wanted to keep the mailboxes completely separate, you can set up another Outlook profile, and this might happen already for you as well. So if we close that, if you go to the mail section, so if we go to Control Panel, and this is going to be the same for most versions of Windows. I'm using Windows 10 in this example, but the Control Panel is the same for pretty much all versions that are sort of being used at the moment. And if you change the view by to either large or small icons, and go to Mail, which is there, and from here you go to Show Profiles, and what we can do is set it so that we prompt for a profile to be used rather than always using this profile. So if we click Apply there, now next time we open Outlook, we're going to get prompted for a new profile. So what I can do now is set up the new mailbox as a new profile so that the mailboxes are kept completely separate. So if we click New, and just call this one example, and now we can go through the settings. So first thing we want to do is go to manual setup or additional server types. And just before I go through that, one thing that's also worth mentioning is if you hadn't set up a mailbox at all, this is going to be one of the first screens you see as well. So you can just start from here. So manual setup or additional server types. And we want to go with POP or IMAP. And here we go. So your name, so just go with my normal name, and this is going to be the name that people see when they receive an email from you. The email address, just enter the email address you're trying to set up. And the account type, POP3 or IMAP, whichever you prefer really. If you're just using one computer, POP3 is a good one to use, but if you've got multiple devices connecting to the same mailbox, IMAP is probably better. If you're really not sure what you want to use, it's probably worth just checking, doing a bit of research, just because there's a bit more to it than I would like to cover in this video, and you can't change it once you've set it up. So we'll go with POP3, and incoming mail server is going to be mail.livemail.co.uk. And the outgoing mail server is going to be smtp.livemail.co.uk. And then username is the full email address you're trying to set up. It's helpfully sort of pre-filled that in for me based on my email address. And then the password is just your mailbox password. So once you've entered those few details, go to More Settings, and first we want to go to Outgoing Server, and we need to tick this box that my outgoing server requires authentication, and you want to use the same settings as my incoming mail server as well for that one. Then go to the Advanced tab, and the incoming server, it's going to be 993 if you're using IMAP, or 995 if you're using POP. So I'm using POP, so I'm using 995, and click this server requires an encrypted connection, SSL, and outgoing server is going to be 465, and again we want to use SSL for the encryption. So click OK there, and now you can test the account settings now just to check it's set up correctly, and that will just run a quick test, and as we can see that's successfully completed. And now when we click next, it's probably going to do it again. Yeah. We close that, and there we go, we're all set. So that's actually been set up. So if we log into that and do a send and receive, there we go, and that's going to start populating now. So that's all there is to it. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye for now.